Imagine a country that never loses a war. Its army still marches. Its flag still flies. Its enemies never storm the capital. And yet, one day it wakes up weaker, poorer, divided, and unsure how it got there. No defeat parade, no surrender document, just a quiet realization. Power is gone. This is how strong nations usually fall. Not on battlefields, but on balance sheets, in courtrooms, in parliaments, in homes where people slowly stop believing the system works for them. This matters right now because the modern world is obsessed with military strength. Defense budgets, missiles, aircraft carriers. We track wars like sports scores. But history tells a different story. Most powerful nations didn't lose because they were conquered. They lost because they couldn't manage success. Let's unpack how that actually happens. Start with a simple truth. War is expensive. But peace can be even more expensive if it's mismanaged. When a nation becomes dominant, something strange happens. It starts borrowing against its future. At first, this feels smart. The economy is strong. The currency is trusted. Credit is cheap. Why raise taxes when you can issue debt? Why make hard choices when growth hides the cost? Rome did this. Spain did this. The British Empire did this. Every financial superpower does. Debt isn't the villain by itself. The problem is what debt starts to replace. It replaces discipline. Over time, governments learn they can promise more than they can deliver. Welfare programs expand, bureaucracies multiply, political compromises get postponed. Not because leaders are evil, because the system rewards delay. Here's the uncomfortable math. As long as the economy grows faster than the debt, everything looks fine. Interest payments stay manageable. Investors stay calm. But growth slows eventually. It always does. Population ages. Productivity plateaus. Easy gains are already taken. Now the debt doesn't disappear. It just gets heavier. Strong nations don't fall when they're poor. They fall when they're rich, but inflexible. At this stage, something subtle changes. The state becomes a referee that also plays the game. Regulation increases. Taxes become complex. Exceptions multiply. Big players learn how to navigate the system. Small players drown in it. Innovation slows, not because people stop being smart, but because the cost of failure becomes too high. Quiet humor here. A nation that once rewarded risk now punishes mistakes with paperwork. Meanwhile, the military still looks impressive. Parades are grand, budgets grow. But military power doesn't fix structural decay. It hides it. The stronger a nation looks externally, the harder it is to admit internal weakness. Criticism feels unpatriotic. Reform feels dangerous. So problems compound. Currency strength begins to wobble, not collapse, wobble. Foreign investors ask for slightly higher returns. Borrowing gets a little more expensive, nothing dramatic. Politicians call it temporary pressure. They always do. This is where hype and reality split. The hype says, we're still the strongest, look at our army. Reality says, your interest payments are eating your budget. History gives us receipts. Rome didn't fall when barbarians crossed borders. That came later. It fell when debasing currency became normal, when taxes crushed productivity, when military spending crowded out civilian life. Spain didn't fall because it lacked gold. It drowned in it. Silver from the New World funded wars instead of industry. Inflation rose, debt piled up. The empire stayed feared, the economy hollowed out. Britain didn't lose an invasion in the 20th century. It lost financial primacy. 2 world wars drained capital. Debt shifted power quietly across the Atlantic. No battlefield defeat required. The pattern repeats because it's human. Strong nations build systems optimized for yesterday's success. When conditions change, those systems resist change. Here's the hidden mechanism most people miss: trust. Economic systems run on trust long before force. Trust in currency, trust in contracts, trust that rules apply evenly. When people stop trusting outcomes, they stop investing emotionally and financially. Capital looks for exits. Talent looks for options. This doesn't cause riots at first, it causes disengagement. That's more dangerous. At this point, leaders face bad choices: raise taxes and risk backlash, cut spending and anger voters, inflate the problem away and hope nobody notices. They usually choose the third. Inflation is politically quiet at first. No vote required, no announcement needed. Savings lose value slowly, wages lag, asset holders adjust, everyone else falls behind. The nation still looks powerful, but society feels thinner. This is where wars stop mattering. A country can win every external conflict and still lose the internal one, because cohesion is the real force multiplier. Once polarization sets in, reform becomes nearly impossible. Every fix helps one group and angers another. Gridlock isn't accidental, it's structural. Strong nations don't fall because leaders don't know the solution. They fall because implementing it costs political survival. Zoom out. The world doesn't need a single dramatic collapse. Power shifts through erosion. Trade routes adjust. Currencies diversify. Alliances rebalance. No one announces the end of an era. They just stop relying on it. And the former superpower notices last. This brings us to now. Modern states are stronger militarily than ever, but also more financially complex, more indebted, more dependent on confidence. Technology accelerates everything. Capital moves faster. Narratives spread quicker. Mistakes compound in real time. The scary part isn't invasion, it's complacency. Because history doesn't repeat as tragedy or farce, it repeats as bureaucracy. So here's the question worth sitting with. If nations don't fall by losing wars, but by losing discipline, trust, and adaptability, how do you know when strength has quietly turned into fragility?